Hello dear students, in this video you will learn about how to know whether a given reaction will follow SN1 mechanism or SN2 mechanism. First we can see comparison between SN1 and SN2 reactions. SN1 mechanism, it follows first order kinetics, while the SN2 mechanism, it follows second order kinetics. SN1 mechanism is a two-step mechanism, while the SN2 mechanism is a one-step mechanism. SN1 mechanism involves racemization, while the SN2 mechanism, it involves inversion of a configuration. In SN1 mechanism, rearrangement takes place, while in SN2 mechanism, rearrangement does not take place. In SN1 mechanism, the reactivity sequence is from tertiary alkyl halide to secondary to primary to methyl halide. The rate of reaction should be decreases, while in case of SN2 mechanism, reactivity sequence, that is methyl halide to primary alkyl halide to secondary alkyl halide to tertiary alkyl halide, rate of reaction should be decreases. More steric hindrance favors SN1 mechanism, while less steric hindrance favors SN2 mechanism. Polar solvents increases rate of SN1 reaction, while aprotic polar solvents increases rate of SN2 reaction. Weak nucleophile favors SN1 mechanism, while strong nucleophile favors SN2 mechanism. Whether a given reaction will follow SN1 mechanism or SN2 mechanism, that depends on four factors. First one, effect of structure of substrate, effect of leaving group, effect of nucleophile, and effect of solvent. First we can see effect of structure of substrate. In that, consider steric hindrance. In case of SN2 mechanism, as a nucleophile attacks from backside, and then there is a formation of transition state takes place. And that's why if there is a minimum steric hindrance is present, then nucleophile can attack easier one, as well as the transition state is less crowded. Transition state is less crowded. While as the steric hindrance increases, the backside attack of nucleophile becomes more difficult due to steric hindrance, as well as the transition state for the becomes more crowded. Meaning generally, in case of steric SN2 mechanism, as a nucleophile approaches from backside, that's why less steric hindrance that favors SN2 mechanism, while when the steric hindrance increases, rate of SN2 reaction should be decreases. If we consider the relative rates of SN1 and SN2 reaction for the hydrolysis of alkyl halides, then here it is found that methyl alkyl halide, means when methyl alkyl halide is present, relative rate of SN1 should be 1.05, while the SN2 rate is 30. In case of ethyl, propyl, and tertiary butyl, rate of reaction SN1 reaction should be increases, while rate of SN2 reaction should be decreases. Means in case of a tertiary alkyl halide, negligible rate of SN2 reaction should be observed. Or if we say graphically, then here we clearly see that the methyl and primary alkyl halides, they can react by, preferably they can react by SN2 reaction, while the secondary and tertiary, generally tertiary, preferably react by SN1 mechanism. SN1 mechanism, that should be observed. Means here the low steric hindrance that favors SN2 mechanism, while the more steric hindrance favors SN1 mechanism by different reasons. In case of SN2 mechanism, the steric hindrance increases as crowding increases, and that's why rate of SN2 decreases, while in case of SN1 mechanism, the stability of carbocation should be increases. Then effect of structure of substrate, stabilization of positive charge. If the positive charge on carbocation is stabilized either by inductive resonance or hyperconjugation effect, the molecule that prefers to react by SN1 mechanism rather than SN2 mechanism. Means simply we can say that the less hindered or less crowded substrate that favors SN2 mechanism, while the more crowded or more substrated substrate that favors SN1 mechanism. Then effect of leaving group. Rate of SN1 as well as SN2 reaction should be affected by nature of leaving group, as the departure of leaving group takes place in a slow step for both these reactions. And generally, good leaving group that favors increases rate of SN1 as well as the SN2 reaction. Then third is effect of nucleophile. In SN1 reaction, nucleophile is involved in a fast step, and hence rate of reaction is independent on concentration as well as the nature of nucleophile. While in case of SN2 reaction, nucleophile is involved in slow step or in rate determining step, hence the rate of SN2 reaction depends upon concentration as well as the nature of nucleophile used, that is nucleophilicity of the reagent. And first we can say concentration of nucleophile. With increase in concentration of nucleophile, rate of SN2 reaction increases, while the decreasing concentration rate of SN2 reaction should be decreases. Or in general, we can say that high concentration that favors SN2 mechanism, while the low concentration of nucleophile favors SN1 mechanism. Then third one is effect of nucleophile. In that we can see the nature of nucleophile. Generally, a good nucleophile increases the rate of SN2 reaction, and thus a stronger nucleophile that favors SN2 mechanism, while the weaker nucleophile that favors SN1 mechanism. Means if a nucleophile is stronger, then it prefers to react by SN2 mechanism, while a weaker nucleophile that favors by SN1 mechanism. For example, if we consider the hydrolysis of neopentyl bromide, first we can see the strong nucleophile, that is the ethoxide ion is present. In that case, reaction should be proceeds by SN2 mechanism, and in this case we get ethyl neopentyl ether. Means it should be react by SN2 mechanism, as it is a stronger nucleophile. While here neopentyl bromide, when treated with ethyl alcohol, which is a weaker nucleophile, in that case first the leaving group can be departure to form a primary carbocation which is less stable, and that should be converted into more stable carbocation, tertiary carbocation, with a migration of a methyl group. And then here we get the tertiary carbocation and then nucleophile that attacks to give a product. Means here in this case we get ethyl tertiary pentyl ether. Means here rearrangement can be observed, and rearrangement can be observed only in case of SN1 mechanism, as here the strong nucleophile is present. That's why the neopentyl bromide reacts by SN2 mechanism, while the ethyl alcohol is used as a solvent, then it can react by a SN1 mechanism with formation of carbocation, and as carbocation is formed, there is a rearrangement takes place. Then last factor is the nature of solvent. In SN1 reaction, carbocation is produced by solvation process, and this is possible only if solvent used is highly polar. And as solvent polarity increases, stability of carbocation increases by solvation, and therefore SN1 reaction or rate increases. Relative rates of solvolysis of 2-methyl-2-bromopropane, these are determined by changing solvent polarity. Here, if we see a relative rates, as here solvolysis takes place or carbocation can be solvated by solvolysis, and we know that the water is more polar as compared to ethyl alcohol. That's why if you use the pure water as a solvent, then relative rate is 1200. If you use the 50% ethyl alcohol, that is 50% water plus 50% ethyl alcohol, then relative rate decreases to 60. If we use 40% water and 60% ethyl alcohol, then relative rate again decreases to 30. If we use the 80% ethyl alcohol and 20% water, then there is a relative rate is 20. While if we use a pure ethyl alcohol as a solvent, then relative rate is 1. Means as the solvent polarity decreases, the solvolysis decreases, and that's why the relative rate of SN1 reaction should be decreases. Means the more polar solvent, generally it favors the SN1 mechanism. That's why the SN1 reactions are uncommon in gas phase, because the solvation of carbocation is not possible in gas phase. The rate of SN2 reaction generally that decreases with increase in solvent polarity. Means if you use the protic polar solvents such as water, acetic acid, methanol, ethanol, etc., then nucleophile itself gets solvated. Nucleophile should be solvated, and as the nucleophile is solvated through hydrogen bonding, it is difficult for a nucleophile to attack this substrate as it is solvated. And that's why the protic polar solvents, they decreases rate of SN2 reaction. While in aprotic polar solvents, for example, DMF, dimethyl formamide, or dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO, the solvation of cation takes place and nucleophile is set free for the attack of on substrate, and therefore in aprotic polar solvent, SN2 reaction rates are very high. For example, if you use the protic polar solvent methyl alcohol, then relative rate of SN2 reaction in case of methyl iodide when treated with soda azide, it gives the methyl azide and relative rate is 1. While here if you use the DMF as a solvent, which is the polar but aprotic solvent, then the relative rate is 4.4 into 10 raised to 4, and that clearly indicates that the highly protic polar solvents, that shifts mechanism from SN2 to SN1, while the highly polar but aprotic solvents will change mechanism from SN1 to SN2. In this video, we can see that the how to know whether the reaction will follow SN1 or SN2 mechanism. First factor is if the crowding or branching at alpha carbon increases, rate of SN2 decreases while rate of SN1 reaction should be increases. If a positive charge on carbocation is stabilized by either structural effects, that is the inductive effect, resonance effect, or hyperconjugation, the molecule prefers to react by SN1 mechanism rather than SN2 mechanism. Stronger nucleophile favors SN2 mechanism, while weaker nucleophile favors SN1 mechanism. And protic polar solvents favors SN1 mechanism, while aprotic polar solvents favors SN2 mechanism. Thank you.